guys, I don't think that anybody would deny that the diversity and inclusion thing is like on a whole other level. Like they pushed it way past 10 at this point. You can't look anywhere in our society without seeing some forced diversity and inclusion. When I say forced, I mean that it's undeniably an agenda. People are going out of their way to push diversity and inclusion because, guys, I don't think anyone would deny that diversity and inclusion on its own is not a bad thing. The natural growth of diversity and inclusion, we can only be better for that as a society because we've been seeing it. I mean, if you look at pop culture from 50 years ago or more, it looks a lot different than it does today. If you look at films from like the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, you see the transition starting to happen. Then when you get into the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, up until today, it's undeniable that diversity happens and it happens naturally. It's a natural progression. But for some reason, people are making it an actual objective and agenda to push this. All right. And the issue here, I think, is that the quality of entertainment tends to suffer. So even though film reviews and critics have been a thing for a long time, I'm talking about probably before Siskel and Ebert, but from Siskel and Ebert up to say like Chris Stuckman, you've always had people that review films, they review programming, TV, things like that. And you can also review TV per episode, by the way. There's a lot of people who don't think that you can review episodes of TV. Oh, you gotta wait till the season is through. You can't review it now. You don't know where the story is going. No. It's always been a thing that you can review episodic TV, okay? So I don't know where that comes from. People just don't like the fact that other people can have an opinion, all right? So with that opinion, of course, comes the observation these days, now more than ever, that maybe people are taking diversity and inclusion and they're putting it up and they're prioritizing it to the detriment of the actual story. Okay. And I think that's where the meaning gets lost when a lot of us are expressing our displeasure at what we've been getting from our pop culture and our science fiction and science fantasy these days. There's a lot of people out there who think that we're just being negative. Why can't you guys just go with it? Appreciate all the hard work that goes into this. But if it's not satisfying, do we not have the right to speak on that? And if speaking on that, we come to the conclusion or just the speculation that maybe these people are prioritizing diversity and inclusion over the quality of the actual storytelling. All right. Do we not have the right to express that? All right. So what I have here today to present to you is proof, yet more proof, because actually we've already proven this beyond the shadow of a doubt, honestly, but yet more proof that our good friends over at Disney are indeed pushing this objective and this agenda over the quality of the storytelling to transform culture. And right off the bat, guys, I want to give a great big shout out to my friend Steve Kenobi, for giving me this tip that I'm about to talk about here. And I want to share it with you guys. This is the gospel according to Mark with a C. He is I and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. Thank you for joining me once again, my friends. And yes, here we have yet another example of these people in positions of power and the ones that hold the keys to all of our favorite IPs and titles and stories, and how we see them in the way that they think and how it has an impact on the quality of entertainment that we get. Okay. So I'm going to read in part from this article here from thegatewaypundit.com. And it says here, Project Veritas, once again, Project Veritas, new leaked footage exposes, where is it? Diversity and inclusion program pushed by Disney to, quote, transform culture. Okay, not influence culture, not help culture, whatever. Transform culture. Project Veritas last Thursday released leaked footage exposing the diversity and inclusion program pushed by Disney as part of their Expose ESPN series. Earlier this week, Project Veritas released undercover video exposing, quote, blatantly racist shit at ESPN. The whistleblower, ESPN studio operator Trevor Adams recorded undercover video and audio of several ESPN employees discussing a toxic and racist workplace. Now, on Thursday, leaked footage from executives at Coquel, a global a global non-profit think tank who claim to be champions of equity and researchers of culture. Champions of equity and researchers of culture. That's actually a dangerous mix when you think about it. They're champions of equity. They'd have to define what equity is. Like who is it that makes that decision? What is equitable, right? And researchers of culture. Expose the racist diversity and inclusion program pushed by Disney. The woke Coquel executives discussed Latinx and colorism and different skin tones within the Latinx community. Latinx is their word. I don't know one Latino or Latina out there who actually subscribes to that term. I think Latinx, that X, is supposed to take the gender off of it. I think that's where it comes from, which makes it totally ridiculous, but that's where it comes from, all right? So they want to discuss the different skin tones within the Latinx community, colorism, and all that. Okay, so here we have a video here, and I'm going to play the audio from the video. Hopefully you can hear a little bit of what's going on, but I'll tell you after it's done. But listen up to this little clip that's right here, right? Because they're talking about how their objective is, in fact, to transform culture. Check this out.
Our second area of work is our community, which is comprised of a task force of about 85 members who act as our thought partners in our research and discuss top-of-mind issues. They share best practices, and Disney is a part of this task force. Coquel also provides advisory services to help companies with strategy and programming to really transform culture.
What we found is that we see that colorism comes in as a relevant factor, and of course, there's been lots of discussion about colorism in media, especially earlier this year with the film In the Heights as it relates to representation in that film. And specific to our research, what we did find is that Latinx professionals with darker skin were far less likely to say that their evaluations reflect their contributions. And some Latinx professionals with lighter skin may be seen as white, whether or not they identify that way. And these perceptions lead them to being treated more like insiders.
Okay, so there you have it. These people are doing an awful lot of thinking about how to transform culture through their programming. Keep in mind, guys, the majority of this programming is said to be directed more towards the kids. So when our old asses object to what's going on with our favorite IPs and people respond to you, it's for the kids. They're talking about the programming for the kids. This is what they want to do. They want to start with the kids to transform culture. Okay, so we need to get out. If you ask me, just my opinion, we need to get out of our hurt fifis and actually remember what this is all supposed to be about. Okay, the kids. All right, protecting our kids is protecting our culture. It's protecting our future, and it's protecting the IPs and the stories that we love so much. So this is what I would ask us all to remember. Okay, because a lot of us, we just want to see what entertains us, what we remember, and that's great and everything. But that's not the level that these people are on. They're looking to influence the kids culturally. They're looking to influence them politically, and they want their minds. So while we're producing all of these alternatives that we're trying to produce, all of us independent creators and things like that, don't forget, we need to reach out to the kids. Remember George Lucas and, to a lesser degree, Gene Roddenberry. I think his taste was more mature. But when you have creators like George Lucas, legendary creators, they did look to provide entertainment for children of all ages, because that actually does influence the culture. And these people have figured that out before we do, which is the reason why we see our beloved properties taking the hit that they're taking. We have to protect these things, guys, and we have to remember that's what it has to be for. Not just for us, not just for what we're missing, not just for what we want. You know, you see all of these people who are doing new things. Zack Snyder is doing Rebel Moon and all of that stuff. But who is actually reaching back to do something that actually embraces the kids? All right, because that's really what it's all about, guys. You hear what these people are saying. They want to transform culture. They want to come up with programming to transform culture. Okay, and we've seen this once over and over again. These people have told us this is what they're doing. They're not just looking to hijack what we love. They're looking to weaponize it against the culture that we all love so much. Our culture is not perfect. We don't all love each other. We don't all just get along and everything like that. But ultimately, I believe that it's the job of the parents to raise their kids with the traditions and the values that we see fit. We can't all be on the same page. But that's what these people are doing. Okay, like I said, diversity and inclusion, not a bad thing on the face of it. Black Lives Matter, not a bad thing on the face of it. But the deviousness of it is that they're using these concepts, they're turning them around, and they're weaponizing them against a culture that they seem to feel is outdated. So that's where it goes. If you don't feel that way, then we have to keep in mind that's what these people are doing. Every time you sit somebody down, every time you sit one of your kids down or whatever to watch a Disney film or one of these others that subscribe to this philosophy, then you know you have to be on the lookout for this type of programming. And it's not wrong to point it out. So for all the people who are like, oh my God, you just have a problem with a black person. You're in the basement, okay? Come upstairs, rise. Think, all right? You're on a very basic level. They're using diversity and inclusion. So stop hitting us over the head with, you're just mad because it's a woman. Listen, we're past that. We've always been past that. Look at the fandom. We've always had strong women characters. We've always had black characters that have been strong and have been memorable. You know, could there be more? Of course, but like I said, it's a progression, and it's a progression that we've been on since the beginning of film. So guys, I wanted to put that out there for you guys so you could check out what's going on and you can be empowered to enforce in your homes with your parental authority what you want your kids to be inoculated with, what you want them to be raised with. All right, so there it is, guys. Do what you will with this information. I just wanted to put it out there so you can be more informed. All right, get in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about this. You can like, you can share, you can subscribe. Catch me on Twitter, catch me on Rumble, Odyssey. I'm out there. And thanks once again to Steve Kenobi for the tip. All right, guys, I'll catch you on the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.